Well, hey, if it's your first time joining me, I do see a couple of new folks have logged on today. I just want to introduce myself properly. I am Stephanie Laska. I'm the author and creator of Dirty Lazy Keto, and I have lost 140 pounds. So I'm glad that you're here and that you found me and that you're in the right spot. So let's get to know each other because I have a really cool episode today to share with you. I think you're going to watch it and then rewatch it because it's going to be that fun. I have so many show and tell items in my office today, and my office smells amazing because I'm going to give you I'm not going to tell you. You're going to have to wait. Well, I wanted to tell you just a little story before we started. Like, I was thinking about this because it's almost Valentine's Day right now, and it was like, man, I was in my 20s. It seems like 100 years ago. Probably was. But I came down with this horrible, horrible illness about this time. It was February and I was in my early 20s and I ended up just really sick and I was in the emergency room. And at the emergency room, I was young and healthy. Was one of the millions of times, we've all been there, where I had lost a bunch of weight on Weight Watchers and I was looking good. I was feeling good, but I came down with this crazy illness and I was at the emergency room. No one could figure out what was wrong with me and did all these horrible tests. And I even had a spinal tap done, which if you have ever had one, you know it's probably one of the worst things imaginable on the entire planet. Absolutely horrible. So I remember leaving the hospital, going home, being told to just get in bed and rest. And I remember laying in bed thinking just how horrible I felt and just how much pain I had been in. And I remember just being mad about the whole Weight Watcher thing and feeling like I needed some comfort. I remember feeling, sick and also just kind of angry that I was missing out on some of the things that used to provide me with a lot of comfort. So I remember back in my 20s, after that all happened, I decided, well, I just need a break then. I don't need to eat, Weight Watcher food at that time. So I remember just eating whatever I wanted. And for me to comfort myself, I don't know if any of you remember Circus cookies. Do you remember Circus cookies? They're animal cookies with like pink frosting and little dots. I remember eating a whole bag of those because I thought those would make me feel better. And I also remember having a lot of McDonald's vanilla milkshakes and fish sandwiches. The McFish. Don't ask me why, but those are the things that brought me comfort at that time. And then I just threw the whole Weight Watcher thing out the window and just took care of myself in a way that I knew how, and that was through food. Now, you can imagine what happened after several weeks of feeling sick and eating horrible food and making choices like I was making. I quickly put on weight and I quickly gained back all the weight that I had lost on Weight Watchers. So not only then was I sick, but then I was also overweight. And so it was a horrible, horrible struggle. So I know what it's like to be sick. I know what it's like to want to comfort yourself in maybe a way that it's the only way you know how. And for a lot of us, that has to do with food. So even if you are now transitioning to Dirty Lazy Keto and you're healthy as a horse, know that probably in the future, because it's just normal, at some point you will get sick, right? Like a cold, a flu, or don't want to wish it upon you, but it could be something worse. So I want you to be prepared so that you don't make those kind of choices like I once did, where I ate a bag of Circus cookies. Because that was not a good choice. And to do it all over again, I hope that I could share some of the advice that I've learned and maybe you could apply it to your own situation. Because we're not always going to be, perfectly healthy, right? I think it's normal, first of all, to want to comfort ourselves with food. So I want to just acknowledge that. And so maybe today I can share some Dirty Lazy Keto type foods that will still provide you with that emotional comfort as you work toward, all the other woo-woo ways that we're supposed to journal and breathe deeply and talk our feelings out and all that good stuff. We all know we're supposed to do that, but for a lot of us, that's still a challenge. We still rely on food for comfort. So let's kind of go through, I have a whole office full of food today, what potentially could meet those cravings or those emotional needs that you might have when you're feeling under the weather. So the first one, this will make you laugh. These are cinnamon toasters, not Cinnamon Toast Crunch, because that would be full price cereal. This is the discount rack. That's where I shop. So I always personally want something cinnamon toasty, like cinnamon sugary, when I'm not feeling well. Doesn't matter what's wrong with me. I always crave cinnamon sugar. So obviously I'm not going to eat high calorie, high carb, gross cereal like this like I used to. I used to eat a lot of Cinnamon Toast Crunch back in the day when I was, close to 300 pounds. But now I have an alternative, okay? And I'm so excited to teach you. I got to plug in something because I'm going to teach you how to make a better alternative on Dirty Lazy Keto. And it has to do with dun, 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 a chaffle. So how many of you like chaffles? Anyone? I do. Love them. So I got my waffle iron here, and I'm going to do this in my office, believe it or not. This is getting crazy. So I'm going to show you, this is just a little 2-spot waffle iron, but whatever kind you have will work. It doesn't have to be a Chaffle iron. I like to spray it with this before it gets hot. I hope it doesn't get on the computer. I just use regular old Pam or vegetable oil, whatever's on sale. So while this is heating up, I'm going to explain to you what we're making today. This is from the Dirty Lazy Keto No Time to Cook cookbook. It's called Shortcut Cinnamon Toast Sticks. I'm going to show you a picture. Let's see if I can hold it up properly. Oh, let's see. Got to do the right angle. Doesn't that look good? I love, love, love cinnamon toast. So this always hits the spot for me. This recipe is on page 68 if you have the paperback copy. But I'm going to walk you through how to make it, okay? How fun is this? Did I surprise you? You're like, I didn't know we were making chaffles. I thought we were talking sad stories about being sick. Nope, we're going to have a little bit of fun. Okay, so I'm trying to make my page not fall short. First thing we need to do is get 2 eggs, just 2. And then you're going to need 1 cup of mozzarella cheese. And I use the full fat, none of that skim, nasty, fat-free garbage. So 2 eggs, 1 cup of mozzarella cheese. You're going to mix that all together really well with a fork. And you will make a bowl of this mixture. It looks like just 2 things, cheese and mozzarella. Or mozzarella, cheese, and egg. And you just beat it up into a little bowl. Okay? Easy enough. Next, we're going to pour it into our chaffle maker. And it's going to make 3 chaffles, this quantity. And just to let you know how many net carbs per serving, it's only 1. 1 gram of net carbs per serving. It's going to make 3. So before we got started today, I already made 2 chaffles. And so right now we're going to make just the third. So this is a third of the mixture. I'm kind of scared to do this in my office. I'll be honest. But here we go. I want to show you, but I'm afraid to burn myself here. Let's see if I can do it on camera. You ready? Here we go. So I'm going to take this as a third of the mixture. I'm going to pour it into the waffle maker. This is hilarious. Okay, I'm going to close the waffle maker. You can hear that, right? Hey Siri, set a 3-minute timer.
Okay, 3 minutes and counting.
We're cooking in the office. I'm going to put this off to the side so it doesn't fall on me. Okay, that's it. Now in a small bowl, you will, while that's cooking, here's my little small bowl. You're going to go ahead and get 1 teaspoon of ground cinnamon, and 2 tablespoons of the sugar sweetener of your choice, sugar-free sweetener of your choice. Today I use Laska because that's what I had on hand. And I just put it in a little bowl here and then, stir it up. Pretty easy. And what is going to happen is in 3 minutes, that little timer comes off. And of course, I have a finished product to show you. This is what it's going to look like when it comes out of the gate. Here is a chaffle. And then I used a knife to cut it into little lines. 1, 2, 3. So I made 1, 2, 3, 4 strips. And then I just used my cinnamon sugar mixture and just got it all up in there. And then you can flip it over. I like to do the cinnamon and sugar stuff while it's still hot because then it sticks better. Okay. I know, right? So easy. Doesn't it blow your mind? Now, if I'm not feeling good, this will totally make me feel better. Let's just be real. It's delicious. Cinnamon toast sticks. And remember, that was in the Dirty Lazy Keto No Time to Cook cookbook if you need the written directions. But it's pretty easy. I think you can remember, right? Also, when you're taking your chaffles out of your chaffle maker, I just want to do a shout out for the plastic fork. It helps pry it out. Sometimes they glue themselves in there. And also, it makes it less likely that you'll scratch your Teflon of your waffle maker. And I just use a cheapy waffle maker. It's from like a Black Friday sale. It was $10, I think. Nothing special. Should be almost done. You can hear it sizzling. I like sugar-free syrups like Mrs. Butterworth's or Laska. I think those are really yummy. Or you could even put some melted butter on if your stomach can tolerate that, if you're not feeling better. If you're not feeling, up for that. So keep that in mind. I think that's pretty cool little trick, right? And so I wanted to show the Laska sugar-free sweetener. This is the one I used on hand. And then I also used cinnamon, just ground cinnamon. Okay, it's been 3 minutes. I'm going to open this up over here so I don't burn myself. But you can trust that it's... I'll show you. Here it comes. Ta-da! Look at that, it's perfect. I'm cooking in the office. Isn't that crazy? So I'm going to use my plastic fork and kind of pry it loose. I'm going to bring this plate over here so I don't drop it on myself. Here it comes. There we go. It was funny, my son came in here earlier and he was like, "What you making?" Because it smells really good. And again, I'm going to put the cinnamon sugar mixture on top. And then use my knife to cut them into strips. Just go down the, follow the little lines. And then it'll look like this when they're finished. And you could even freeze those too. Wasn't that exciting? I love chaffles. Especially when you're not feeling good. For some reason, they just kind of make me feel comforted. Like breakfast food kind of does. So that was one thing. I have about 10 foods that I'd like to walk through today that I would recommend or maybe suggest if you're not feeling well. These foods maybe emotionally or physically might make you feel better. So let's go on to number 2. Number 2 is going to be, like I call it smashed cauliflower. You guys can call it probably a million different other things. But the proper recipe is in the first cookbook. It's in the original Dirty Lazy Keto cookbook. And it's on page 140 if you have that at home. There's no picture though, because it's like, I don't know if it's that pretty. But it's called Get Loaded Smashed Cauliflower. And it's 3 grams of net carbs per serving. But I'm just going to walk you through how to do it without even being fancy with the recipe. So in case you don't know how to make smashed cauliflower, first of all, you get the cauliflower. I always buy frozen because I think it's just a pain in the booty to rice cauliflower yourself. I mean, I know people do it, but I'm lazy, people. So I buy it from Costco or any kind of large bulk retailer. This has like 4 packs inside. It's organic rice cauliflower. It was just there, so it's not like I have a important love of organic anything. But so anyway, I cook one of these. They come in little microwavable bags. So you just throw the dang bag right in the microwave for 5 minutes. It's done. And then I pour my hot cauliflower in a bowl. And then depending on what I have on hand or what my stomach is in the mood for, if I'm not feeling well, I would add things like butter. I would add things like sour cream, full fat, of course. And I would add things like cream cheese. I might even add ranch powder. I've done that. Or cheddar cheese or bacon bits or green onion. But again, it kind of depends on what your stomach is feeling like. If you're having like a real stomach flu, adding too much might not be so good. So maybe more bland is better. That just depends. But for me, eating smashed cauliflower, it kind of reminds me of mashed potatoes, which for me is a real comfort food when I'm not feeling very well. It's a comfort food, right? It kind of fills you up. So that was my number 2. Number 3, when you're not feeling well, I'm going to recommend, and this is a drink, I'm going to recommend that you really hydrate yourself with some electrolyte water. Okay. Now, of course, you can have your sugar-free, flavored Kool-Aids like I love. Sugar-free Gatorade, Powerade, use Mio drops. But I think sometimes when you're not feeling good, all that fruity stuff, I don't know. Sometimes for me, it can make my stomach more upset. Like I just don't really want all that. So just having plain old electrolyte infused water, and there's a lot of different brands on the market, but I like to keep one of these on hand just in case, and it's just flat water and it doesn't taste any different. It tastes the same. But at least that way, if you are not feeling well, you can replace those electrolytes, which is half the battle when you're sick, especially if you're nauseous or have stomach flu and you're losing fluids, one of those directions, that can really take a toll on you. And you're already in ketosis, right? So you're already losing a lot of water and electrolytes just by being in a fat burning state. So you don't want to lose more fluids because then you'll start developing headache, lethargy, foggy thinking. You don't want any of those complications in addition to not feeling well, right? So it's a simple way to make yourself feel better. Okay? You may be more interested in like a more natural way to get your electrolytes instead of, purchasing fruity drinks or purchasing water. And something I often do when I'm not feeling well is I just make a bone broth. And that is as simple, here's my mug. That's as simple as using a bouillon cube for us lazy people. Like me, I just keep chicken bouillon cubes in my spice drawer and I add hot water. That's it. And I enjoy that. Or I might take, like we had a Costco chicken the other night, I might just throw the Costco chicken in a pot of boiling water and add vegetables if I feel, up for it. But just drinking that bone broth of the carcass from the Costco chicken, it's amazing. And it just fills me up with all those electrolytes that I might be missing if I'm not feeling well. So, and you can do that all the time. You don't have to just be sick. But this is my little shortcut. It's okay to take shortcuts. It's lazy keto. You don't have to be all perfect and, organic and blah, blah, blah. You can do it this way too. I think you're not alone if when you are not feeling good, you're craving chicken noodle soup, right? Like how many of you crave that when you have a cold or a stomach virus? I think it's like American, right? Sorry, Tina. But I think that it's American. People want Campbell's soup and they want to have that chicken noodle experience. So even if you are making your own broth, like we just talked about with bouillon or with the boiled chicken carcass, you can make the noodles in a really sneaky way. You can do it in a low carb, dirty, lazy keto way. It's very sneaky. This is what you do. Make your broth and then get out one of these tortillas, your low carb tortillas, whatever brand you like. There's a million of them. I just happen to have Mission on hand. They're kind of expensive, so for me, I just buy whatever's on sale. But anyway, use one of these, use a pizza cutter, and just slice it into little fettuccine strips. I know, right? So sneaky. And then right before you're about to enjoy your chicken noodle soup, you throw in your shredded little zucchini looking strips, throw that into your broth, let it cook, soften just a little bit, then you're ready to go. Suddenly you have a dirty, lazy keto version without all those pesky carbs. And it'll taste just as good and give you that same warm feeling, which is wonderful. You can also replace your electrolytes with no salt. I personally don't care for this product, but I know a lot of people do like it on Dirty Lazy Keto. They feel like it's a sodium-free alternative to getting some of those electrolytes replaced in their diet. And you could sprinkle this into your broth or into hot water, or just put it on whatever foods you're having, even in a glass of water. It's up to you. For me, when I'm not feeling well, there's nothing better than having herbal tea. I'm kind of picky about my herbal tea, though. I like it a certain way. You want to make sure you're not having caffeinated drinks when you're sick, because if you are losing fluids, like we talked about, either with stomach flu or stomach flu, I don't need to explain that. But these are some of my favorite herbal teas. So check these out. This is by Celestial Seasoning. And I hate to even tell you about these, because then you're going to go buy them and they won't be at the store. They sell out. They're really hard to find. But one of them is called, let's see, Sugar Cookie Sleigh Ride. And the other one is, this one's so yummy, Cranberry Vanilla Wonderland. Oh my goodness. Put like a little packet of Splenda with the hot water and these, and it tastes like candy. It's so yummy. And also this Good Earth brand sweet and spicy tea is an herbal favorite of mine. And you don't need any Splenda in this one or sugar-free sweetener. It's sweet enough just with water, which is so weird. I'm like, what is in here? I don't know. But that way you'll get the electrolytes restored. You'll start adding fluids by these kind of tricks that we're talking about. You don't want to dehydrate yourself further by drinking like soda, right? Like Diet Coke, for example. Even though, like when I was little, we always wanted Coke, like real sugar Coke when we were not feeling well. Yeah, I'm going to pass on that and go with an herbal tea now instead. Much better alternative. I know, isn't this fun? I have a few more. I think I'm at number 6. So that was 6. So I have 4 more left. The next one I want to tell you about is specific to, again, the stomach flu. You might be having diarrhea. Let's just throw that word out there, even though it's not pretty. And this is my family's tried and true trick to get it to stop. Okay? It is a cereal recipe. It's in the Dirty Lazy Keto No Time to Cook cookbook. And I'm not putting this in the book about the diarrhea, okay? It just happens to work really well. And it's on page 56, and it's called Alarm Clock Cereal. And I want to just go over the ingredients with you really quickly, because this is the easiest and most delicious keto cereal you'll ever have in your life. So first of all, you need a half cup water. And then, I'm trying to read without my glasses. Then you'll need 1 tablespoon of chia seeds. These are miraculous. They like suck up all the liquid in your intestines. Okay, and they'll constipate you if you're not having diarrhea, so be careful of that as well if you don't increase your water. And after the chia, then you're going to add a tablespoon of coconut, shredded unsweetened coconut, and then a tablespoon of, got to reach all the way deep down, of pecans. I just buy pecan halves. And lastly, I lost my cinnamon. I moved it earlier. Oh, here it goes. And then lastly, an eighth teaspoon of ground cinnamon. Very easy. Simple, simple, simple cereal. And I just microwave all that together until it's boiling and then let it cool. It's delicious. Makes you feel like you're having oatmeal. Swear to God. And I have a lot of different versions that I make, but this particular alarm clock cereal is wonderful. And I think that you'll enjoy it. If you don't like one of the nuts, just substitute out something that you do like. Of course, if you are not feeling good, it's always a good idea if you have like a sore throat, maybe have some sugar-free popsicles. I didn't have an example of the fruity ones here at my house. I found the sugar-free chocolate popsicles. Maybe the fruity ones might be better if you're sick. I don't know. Or you can make your own using some Jell-O. Sugar-free Jell-O. Who knew? But popsicles are always a fun way to get, your throat feeling better if that's your problem. Personally, when I'm sick, I know maybe it's just me, but I love things with a straw. They just make me feel very comforted. So I have these big giant straws at my house that are reusable, thanks to my daughter. She's so healthy. And I make a lot of like frozen smoothies when I'm not feeling well. I might use some full premium coconut milk. Not a whole can, mind you, just like, I don't know, a quarter can with some frozen strawberries or some protein powder. You could even do this as a chocolate version with cocoa powder and some sugar-free sweetener. But I just might make some more smoothies until I get if I'm not feeling good. You know what I mean? Kind of start feeling better that way. And then lastly, this one is a little bit, reach for it here. Carb Quick is another wonderful ingredient if you keep this on hand. There's a lot of just great, easy, low-carb biscuits and breads and flours and just things that, for me, they feel like they go down easy. Carb Quick can also be constipating because there is a high amount of fiber, which can be to your benefit, right, if you're having a stomach flu. So keep that in mind. And then last but not least, this one's funny because it involves rice. Oh, it's just a container. But this is white rice. You're all, what? What's Stephanie doing with white rice? This is what I do. If I'm not feeling good, moving away from food, here's the transition. I pour a couple cups of white rice because I don't eat it anymore, right? And I pour it into an old gym sock. Isn't that embarrassing? And just tie it at the end. And then I microwave this. And it makes this wonderful heating pad. So if you're having like stomach cramps or a headache or, I don't know, anything where you just need a little warmth and comfort, and you can sleep with these. It's not like a heating pad that's going to burn you if you fall asleep and take a nap. But these are just terrific. One time I had a cold so bad that I was deaf in one ear, and I slept with one of these. It was like magical. It would make me feel so good and help drain all that fluid. So here's a fun use for all that rice that we no longer eat under lazy keto. But overall, we obviously, eating is not the answer to everything, right? I mean, we've talked about caring for yourself. We've talked about putting yourself first and comforting yourself in other ways besides food. And it is important to get your rest, right? After you've had all of these healthy snacks, get your wonderful sleep, put your beauty rest on, and then take a nap. Look, isn't that funny? Oh, come on. I was trying to make you laugh. Oh, I mean, I'm with you. I always try to look to food for the answer first, and I know it's not perhaps the best way, but sometimes that's just the way that we've learned, and it's hard to establish new habits. But in the meanwhile, you just do the best you can, right? You do the best you can. You take care of yourself, and that's really what matters. I just wanted to say thank you for listening. I appreciate your support. This is a community, Dirty Lazy Keto. We have to help each other. We're in this together, my friends. It's not easy, is it? We gotta support one another. So if you found today's video to be helpful, please give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, and then subscribe to the Dirty Lazy Keto YouTube channel. Turn on your notifications so you'll never miss an update. You can also find me on Instagram at Dirty Lazy Keto. And for more information about any of my support groups or any of my books, you can always go to dirtylazyketo.com for more information. I'm here to support you. I'm here to help. I know you can do it.